All right. Today we're going to get started on our Europe map. And first of all, before you do this one, you need to go back and do the USA map. It was intended to do that one first, okay? So I'm going to go USA map, do that first. If not, if you haven't done it, go back and do that one and turn it in. Then when we get to the Europe map, we're going to start off, if you look here, we're going to switch the name to first and last name, Europe map. All right, cool. So click up here. Jeremy. Yeah, I got that done. Flat view. Remember, this is from the last video, but this is important. You can't do it without the flat view. So we're going to go back to that, and we're going to switch to our flat view right up here. Okay. Next, snap grid to off. Remember, if we have it on 1.0 where it starts, we won't be able to get things exactly where we want them. We need much finer movement than that. You could do 0.1, but I find off works the best. We need a top view. So snap grid is off, top view cube. So let's go do that. That way, when we move the nations together, we'll be able to see any gaps that are in between them and fix them. We'll know. Otherwise, we won't even know they're there. We're going to open a reference map. So let's check this out. You can find the map here underneath where the video would be. Click here for a map of Europe. And this will get you a really good map. I'm going to break that one out and do its own thing and snap it to the side of the screen here. And like that. So now we've got TinkerCAD open, and you know what? I don't need that much room on the map. Just a little bit, just enough to see what I'm doing. Now I want to show you something. The next thing it says is shape generators, all, Europe map. So where do you find these things? They've changed TinkerCAD a little bit. It looks a little different. I like the way it looks now. Go to shape generators, all, and they don't have the labels on stuff, but you can see here, this is a Europe map when you mouse over it. So you can drag that out and start with Russia, but cut off the part that's in Asia. We only have to do this with one nation today, and that's our anchor nation that we're going to put everything is going to attach to Russia, and then we're going to build out towards the west. It's just easier that way because Russia is so massive and many things connect to it very easily. And then we're going to work our way out. The problem with Russia, here's the issue we have. Let's take a look here. The issue we have is Russia is a massive nation state. The part that we see here in this map, here, let's go back. The part that we see right here, if you notice, Russia, we're only seeing just this little side of Russia that's in Europe, and that's all we want in our map. So when we put Russia out, it's going to be big Russia, and we're going to chop off all of Asia for Russia. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's actually pretty easy. You just use the box that's already made into a hole. So let's start out with Russia, which is a little different. Then after that, I'll do a few more, and those are going to all be pretty easy, pretty much straightforward, except for a few things, and I'll go over those. Don't worry. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this shape to Russia. Where'd it go? There's Russia. And it will turn into this massive beast. And remember, we only need this side of it over here. Anything from over here, we don't want. So let me make this big so you can see it. Everything's out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to basic shapes. And I'm going to get this box that's a hole. See how it's a see-through hole? And oh, I never switched it to flat view. My bad. So make sure it's on flat view. I don't know why that didn't happen, but we're going to go up here and put it right up on these islands. So it's covering those, and we're going to grab and drag down here. And then that's going to cut off everything except for the part that we want, which is right over here. I'll move it over a little bit, just barely enough to catch those islands. And I'm going to grab them both at the same time, and I'm going to group them. And there you have it. Now we have Russia that we want, just the part that's in Europe. Don't worry about this little piece. There's a reason for that. It should be there. Russia actually owns this part right here and this. So they have kind of an isolated part of their nation. Okay, so let's go ahead and get, now that's the weird way. We got to put a label on Russia. That's the only weird one. Well, there's another one that's kind of messed up, but we'll get to that. Russia, too big, hold down shift. Now it's small enough to fit right on there. I want mine to be white, so that's good to go. I'm going to lock these. I'm going to go back to shape generators. After this, we can use the duplicate trick. And let's take a look at our Europe map now. So when we look at Europe, I want to do Ukraine. That's really locks into Russia pretty well. So I'm going to go here and change this to the Ukraine. All the way at the end, isn't it? Change Ukraine to a different color than Russia because they can't be the same color if they're touching. We're going to need to put this here. Now look, we've got this to off. So now we can just drag this. Now look, if you can't find where it goes, look. See these two little bumps that stick out? Those are above Ukraine. Ukraine goes right underneath those. There's the bumps. And hey, look, you can see how it matches up right here. First, we get it close. Then we use our mouse wheel to zoom in. And then we use our mouse wheel like a button. And we move it over so we can see it. And then you're going to use your arrow keys to get it exactly where you want. And that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And then we're going to need to get some, go back to basic shapes. Text generator. Sure, we get our enormous text. Hey guys, it needs to be spelled correctly. It's right on the map. Ukraine. Yes, even adults have to spell stuff out in their heads. If it's important to me to get right, I always double and triple check that. I mean, you know, it's not too bad, especially when it's spelled right there. Hold down shift to make this kind of like big enough to fit on the Ukraine. It might be too short, so I might, yep, it's too short. So watch. Make it taller so it sticks up a little bit. Back to the top view. Then we move this right on the Ukraine. Guess what? I'm going to grab both of these at the same time, and I'm going to group them. No, sorry. I'm going to duplicate them. Wait for a second, and then move the duplicate over. Then lock down the Ukraine. We're done with that. The Ukraine text and the Ukraine nation. Locked down. Let's move on to the next one. I chose this for a reason, because this one is the other exception to the one that's kind of messed up. Listen, here's what happened. Most of these are fine, but look what happens. We need to find this one called Belarus. Starts with a B. There it is. And watch. Now, if you see this, you know that, whoops, that. This looks nothing like what it's supposed to. Do you know why? The person who made this, they just made a mistake. Here's what happened. You see how on the list, Belarus is right next to Croatia? The person who made this just got them backwards. So when you're looking for Belarus, click on Croatia. And there it is, and that's the correct shape. And later on, when you were looking for Croatia, which is down here in Europe, down in the Balkan, listen, Croatia, you're going to click Belarus because they're backwards. Now you know that, okay? Not everything's like that, just these two. Belarus. Got to make sure it's spelled right. We need to make it a bit smaller. Hold down shift. You can make this smaller. Let's see if it still sticks up high enough to... No, it doesn't. We'll have to make it taller without holding down shift. And there it is. We need to change the color because it can't be the same as Ukraine because they're touching each other. And that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and take this, put it about where it goes. You can kind of start to see where it should be. Let go, and then zoom in with your mouse wheel. Click your mouse wheel like it was a button and move it over so you can see it. And then use your arrow keys. down, over to the right, down. Starting to look pretty good right there. Okay, cool deal. Grab it. We're going to use the duplicate trick so we don't have to find all that again. Give it a second and then move it. I found when you're doing these, they take a second, so you have to wait when you duplicate it. Okay, let's go and do Latvia, which is right above Belarus. And then I will move on to one more thing I need to show you that's special. So Latvia, cool. We need to delete this and change it to Latvia. Latvia. And then move that over just a little bit so we can see it. Put it about where, oh, wait, bad color. We got to change the color to something different. And then we're going to zoom in, pan, and use your arrow keys to get it exactly where it needs to be. And you know, I kind of have a feeling like you can do this. I know you can get it just right if you try. Okay, so there it is. And we're going to lock these down. I've been forgetting to do that. Don't forget to lock them. After you make your copy of them, lock them down so that you don't screw anything up on accident later on. All right? Okay, so now we're here, and I wanted to show you what to do with the island nations. So see this? This is the United Kingdom, or Great Britain, or England, some people might say. Here's what we have. I have this. How do you lock them in and get them in exactly the right spot? You can't. You're going to do the best you can, though. So here I have the United Kingdom, and we can see it's right above France. So you can see I haven't got the whole map done, but I've got enough to show you this. So I take this and I drag it like kind of above France. Uh-oh, snap grid needs to be off. And then we just try to line up geographic features. I can see here on the map that this part of France, the top little bump of France, if we go over and up a little bit, it should be right there, pretty close. So you can see there is Dover and there's Calais. Those are the places in France and England. And I got it about like that. So you just got to do your best to get it about right by looking at reference points. Okay. And you can see also like Denmark, if you go over, you get into these little things. Maybe not exactly, but it's about right. Maybe it needs to be up a little bit further, but that's about it. Okay, that's how you do that. Now I still have to label this and everything else, but that kind of gives you an idea. In order to line these up, you look at other things that are below them to the left or right, and you can line up island nations like the United Kingdom or Iceland when you have to do those, okay? So there's some other ones maybe too. Okay, I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me make sure went over everything. Yep. Belarus and Croatia are backwards. If you're looking for Croatia, click on Belarus. If you're looking for Belarus, click on Croatia. It shouldn't be that way. It's just a mistake. And don't forget, we always roll the mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and we press it like a button to pan and move our view around. Okay? All right. Hey, good luck. And we're going to do all of these. When you're done, you're going to use the snipping tool to snip a copy of it, save it as a picture, and then turn in that picture to me. I do not want you to use the export thing because we're not printing these, okay? All right, everybody, good luck.